Hello and welcome to Yoga with Alexis. Thank you for choosing to watch this video with me, practicing yoga with me. And this practice is Yoga Asana for PMLD. PMLD. So we're going to explore the nature of movement in a classroom, in perhaps your home, and what that might look like for a child or children with profound multiple learning difficulties. It's an experimental video, and it's a very gentle, soothing, easy practice that hopefully we can all find some calming within and just some ease and comfort. So let's all get comfortable and ready, setting up your environment, setting up your space in a comfortable, relaxing, mindful way, and let's get started. Okay everybody, so we're here and we're getting ready now. So this is the beginning of our session, and as always I'm inviting each and every one of us to ensure that our space around us is spacious and it's still and it's quiet and that there's not too much going on. So if you haven't already, this is just the continuous reminder at the beginning of these sessions is to, just make that space as comfortable for you, but also for the children. So a lot of children really don't like dazzling lights shining upon their face, particularly if they've got PMLD. It might be actually quite nice for you, but really the reality is that children with PMLD, they're struggling to maintain a sense of stability internally, and flashing lights is just too much for them, really, for their eyes and for their minds. With global development delay or sensory integration difficulties. So just be mindful and sensitive of that. Just turn the lights down low, perhaps. Maybe close the blinds a little bit. Turn off any distracting sounds and equipment, anything that again is going to be quite jarring. You really want to minimize the sensory input for these children and these young people who you're working with, as well as yourselves. I mean, we're all receiving all kinds of information. We're receiving visuals, colours, patterns, all sorts of external stimuli. So it's calming as well for us when we actually come into a space that's tidy, it's clean, it's not too bright, it's not too dark. You're making all of these, you're setting up the environment to be really nice and relaxing and comfortable and still. So ensure that you've got enough space around you. Ensure that you yourself are comfortable as practitioners here, that you're sitting comfortably on your chair, that you are with the child, that you're able to make contact with the child. And we're going to settle into our own body first. So if you've watched the previous video that I made called Embodied Listening, then perhaps you'll already know how to settle into your own body and your own mind. And we're not going to rush into anything, okay? It's very important, particularly when you're working with children and young people with PMLD. You really have to tend to yourself first. And I would say that to anyone, actually, who is leading any kind of holistic therapeutic session, that you really want to sort of calm yourself down first. And you may already be there, but if you're not, let's just take a couple of moments to check in with ourselves. So just settling into your body. As you sit here with the child or the young person, just take a moment to observe your own body. It's the first stage. of checking in with yourself. Notice your body right now. Notice your posture. Does your posture support your comfort and your breath and your mind and your whole being? Or does it need altering somehow? And if it does, that's fine. This is all about becoming more aware and mindful of what's going on in your present moment awareness. As you do these things, as you become more aware of yourself, that allows you to become more aware of what the child with you needs. So listen to your body. Yeah? Am I slouching forwards? Am I bending backwards? Is my chin, does my chin just need tucking in a little bit? You know? Are my shoulders hunched? What's going on with your body right now? Can you breathe into your body to find more comfort and stillness and ease in this moment? Feel the contact that your body is making with the ground. These are all brilliant anchors that will set you up for a clear, calming and stilling meditation practice. Listening to your breath now. This is the second stage of checking in with yourself. How is my breath? Is it shallow? Can I breathe into my belly as well as my lungs? If you do this, you're maximizing the capacity of your respiratory system. Abdominal breathing. It's also called yogic breathing for a reason. Breathing deeply and rhythmically if you need to. This will help to calm and clear your mind, as well as bring ease and comfort into your body. Listening to your breath, seeing how your breath can really relax you and put you into a more balanced state of harmony, equanimity and tranquility. And now listen to your mind, the third and final stage of our checking in this morning or afternoon. Listening to the quality and the fluctuations of your mind, of your thoughts. And I invite you as you do this to not, or to try not to be judgmental. If we have a tendency to judge, then we're going to meet that judgment with compassionate and kindly awareness. Because that judging is part of the quality of your mind. It's not separate from it. It's actually part of the process of what your mind and your thoughts are going through right now. So try not to add to it, just observe it. Perhaps you are in a state of complete stillness and the mind isn't chattering at all. And you're meeting that stillness, if it's there, with that same loving kindness and awareness. Awareness does not differentiate, it just observes. That is the nature of your awareness. It's pure, it's crystal clear, it just sees things just as they are. It doesn't say I want this or I don't want that, it just observes everything, unconditionally. Try and go there, try and go to that place of awareness. So as you listen to yourself, you can begin to listen to the child whom you're with now. And again, if you're with your awareness, you're not judging anything. You're seeing the child as completely perfect. They're expressing themselves in their own individual way, just as you are right now. And that is a perfect expression of them as an individual being. So they might be slouching, and that's okay, we'll correct that, we'll help them to correct it rather. They might be chewing on something, they might be looking somewhere else, they might be touching something, and all of these things are just expressions of their being in this moment. As you listen to them, you listen to yourself. So we're still practicing embodied listening even in this video. but we're going to take it deeper, or to the next level, if you like. So you're watching them and you're watching yourself. You're not diverting your attention away from yourself. That is a clear instruction right there. I don't want you to stop becoming aware of yourself in this video. I want you to always be aware of yourself, because you are communicating your energy. You're transmitting your energy to that person. If you neglect that part of yourself, there's a chance that you might actually be, you might not have acknowledged some tension in yourself, and unfortunately, if you haven't tended to that, then you may be transmitting that to the child. So we're going to tend to ourselves with tentative awareness as we tend to the child. So you might like to begin to engage in massage, if the child is ready for it. Where do they like to be touched? So as we explore this video, and as we go through the video in the session, it's not one size fits all. And I hope that that is clear and comes across, because in order for us to be with the child or the people, pupils, adults, whoever they are, whoever we're with, it's not a one size fits all. That's obvious, you know that. So I'll be instructing different things, and you'll just be trying out this and that, and what works for this person is great, and what doesn't work for that person, well, I'll just try something else. So you're perhaps engaging in touch and massage, and you're really pressing gently, but also as deeply as you need to meet that person where they are. How deeply do they like the pressure? Listen. So you might apply quite deep pressure touch to a child, because children actually find that really quite comforting. If you're scared to touch them and you just gently, caressing the layer, the very top layer of the skin, that can actually be quite jarring, So actually lots of people really benefit from deep pressure touch. That's part of our hard wiring, really. If we have a leech or a mosquito or something on the layer of our skin, the top layer, actually our nervous system, through survival instincts, tells us that that's a threat. And that's why people prefer deep pressure touch. It's more safer, and it's less jarring and disorientating for the nervous system. So as you begin to apply that touch, you're finding out where maybe the tension is located, if any tension is located in the child. And if they have PMLD, then there most likely will be some layers of tension, maybe around the arms or the shoulders. And you're not trying to get rid of it. You're just communicating your energy with the child. They'll be communicating energy with you when they're ready. And perhaps in time, they may feel some comfort and ease in the atmosphere that you've now set up. They may begin to breathe a little bit more deeply as you breathe deeply. Together, a calm happens. A calming and a stilling happens. So maybe you just want to place your hand on that child's heart, and they place their hand on your heart, or you place your hand on your heart. Receiving that energy. To use the Spice Girls song, two become one. This is very deep and profound, statement. So you're communicating. Two-way communication. And progress. So you can continue with massage, but then you can perhaps move the arms, or just the hands, the fingers. So work with the child where they are. You're not imposing anything, and you're certainly not trying to change anything. The child is perfect as they are. Remember that. And you're perfect as you are. So we're not trying to change anything. We're breathing, stilling our minds, we're being in the present moment, and we're inviting more comfort and ease and stillness to happen. When it's ready to happen. When the time is right, it will happen. So as you begin to work with the child, they might just want to move and spread out their fingers. Spreading out their fingers, lengthening those phalanges in the bones and the carpal muscles in the wrist. In the wrists, they might just want to extend the fingers out, make them active. You might want to curl them up again into closed hands. That's maybe where they are at, and that's okay. And if that's all that happens in this session with you and your child, then that is fine. It's more than fine. Perfect. Perhaps they want to try some bicep curls and extending the elbows. So we call this elbow extension, elbow flexion. So you might be there, lengthening the arms out. I invite you to breathe deeply and rhythmically as you practice these different ways of moving the body. You're inviting comfort and ease into your own body by breathing deeply, and you're not rushing. There's no rush here. Breathing deeply, and you might like to invite some lengthening, extension, activating those fingers. And you might like to counter that movement with flexion. And you'll notice as you extend through the arm, the tricep is engaging. As you flex the arm and the elbow, the bicep is engaging. So there's counter movement. Be aware of each muscle, all of the muscle groups that are working together to make this movement happen. And I want as little tension as possible. You might like to try abduction. So this is called abduction, when we move limbs away from the body, away from the center line. So you might want to do one arm at a time, or both arms at a time. Just work with a child, work with yourself, work with the presence and the quality of the energy in the child and within yourself. And breathe with the child. Imagine that you're breathing with the child. You're inviting each movement to be calm and still and smooth. Abduction, adduction. So you're abducting the arms away from the body. Adduction, taking the arms back to the center line of the body. How far are they going to go? Are they going to bring their arms up out in front? Or are they going to bring their arms out to the sides? And if this is all they go today, maybe they go here tomorrow. Who knows? Just work with where you are at. Work with where the child is at. Perhaps you even bring the arms up level with the shoulders. Maybe the arms even come all the way up high. And what route are you taking to get up there? Are you coming out to the sides? These will work different muscles. Are you coming out in front of you? Are they coming out in front of them? Maybe you make circles, but just move with ease. Move with ease. Breathing deeply, inviting the breath to be like the fuel of your movement. So in yoga we tend to use the breath to guide the movement. So we are extending, flexing, abducting, adducting. Notice that the abduction is engaging the shoulder muscles. Abduction is engaging different muscles down here. You might like to invite the child to flex and extend. So they might like to try and move their shoulders and their arms back. Now, how are they going to do this? Are they going to move their hands facing, palms facing behind, or palms facing in front? Each movement and each gesture and position that your hands, your arms and the rest of your body is in will engage different muscle groups. And each child has different things going on in their bodies. Particularly with cerebral palsy, there is a lot of tension and you need to work very carefully, mindfully and slowly. Patience is key with children who particularly suffer with cerebral palsy. There's a lot of tension going on there. You're not working against it, you're working with it. Okay? So if there's any tension, you're breathing into that space. You might be squeezing at first. Always try and notice where that tension is. Maybe invite gentle massage, rubbing, tapping, whatever you know the child works. If you're working with the same child each and every time, by the way, you really get a sense of what that child is going through, what they're holding on to, where are they holding, where are they tensing. And then you can work with that. You're bringing more awareness, you can feel where that tension is located, and perhaps in time they release that tension. Release it and relax. But in time, it takes time, and that's okay. We're in no rush. So what about their legs? Are they in a chair or are they on the floor? And it doesn't matter where they are. I mean, if they can come out of their chairs, that's great, because I imagine these children are sitting in their chairs for a long, long time. I mean, as adults, and as people who have fully functioning bodies, as privileged and as fortunate as we are, we're not sitting in chairs all the time. We're moving around a lot, I mean, we might be wanting to move around more, but we're not strapped down all the time. So if they can come out of chairs, that's great. But if they're in a chair at this point because of, staff numbers and hoists and everything, then that's okay, we'll just work with that. We always work with what's going on in the moment. And it doesn't matter if they are strapped down, they can still bring a leg up towards the chest, perhaps. So this is knee flexion. Now, if we're doing this, we might want to bring the right knee in first, because that helps to stimulate the ascending colon on the right side. With the digestive system, we tend to stimulate the right side first and then the left side. That helps the digestive system to get in the right order, gets things flowing in the right direction. So we might just want to flex that knee up towards the chest. So this is knee flexion, but it's also hip flexion, because you're bringing the thigh and the quads up towards the chest. So this is knee extension. So hip flexion, knee flexion, bringing both into a flexed state, bringing that knee into the chest. Now, it might not go all the way up into the chest, and that's okay. Breathe. So breathe as you bring it up. Now, this isn't going to work for every child, and of course that's okay. They might just want to flex the ankle. But if they are flexing their knee and their hip, then make sure you do right first and then the left side. Now notice what's going on with the rest of their body. If you're working with their feet and their legs, what's going on with the rest of their body? Where are their shoulders? Are they hunching? Are they slouching? Can you invite comfort and ease into the rest of the body as you work with the legs and the feet? We're not neglecting anything else. And remember yourself as well, okay? Never forget yourself. If you have the opportunity to flex those feet whilst you flex the hip and the knee, then I say go for it. So you can try and flex the feet forwards, flex the feet back. Breathing with each movement. So, in anatomical terms, this is called plantar flexion. When you send the toes away from the body, so I imagine it like you're planting the soles of the feet to the earth. Dorsiflexion is when you flex the toes up towards the face of the head. Plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. So you're flexing in one direction and then another. And this will engage different muscles all the way up the calf muscles, the soleus and the gastrocnemius. And as you practice dorsiflexion, you're flexing the, let me have a look, it's the sartorius, no, it's the tibialis anterior. So you're flexing different muscles depending on which way you're going. And you can rotate one direction and then the other. Really just working all of these different muscle groups in the body. And again, do we want a bit of a foot massage? Do we want to, oh my word, these socks have seen better days. So do we want to provide some foot massage? And it's sometimes you don't notice how much tension you're holding on to or how much tension a child is holding on to until you actually start to press your thumbs into the soles of your feet or spread your fingers kindly around your shoulders. You don't realise until you actually stop and go there. And the breath will really help us every time. I could never stop encouraging us to use our breath kindly. So you can really squeeze the feet, take a break through the movements just to squeeze. Where's tension? Okay, I find some tension in the feet, so I'm going to squeeze them with my thumbs and my fingers, and then maybe I'll give some flexion, rotation. I might try extension. I might even try a leg raise. So there's just so many different ways that you can work with Yoga Asana. Yeah, you can move all in these different ways, as long as you're doing it with awareness and kindness. Again, what's happening with the shoulders? Every posture involves different areas of the body, but you'll find all these different areas of the body are involved. So perhaps we could just try a twist or two. Twisting a spinal twist. Now be very, very careful with children with PMLD. Know the conditions of the child first before you go into twisting, bending, lateral extensions, all the rest of it. Because these are quite intense postures for people with health conditions. So spinal rods and, all different conditions. You really want to be mindful of what the child is going through before you go straight into a posture like a spinal twist. But if you know that the child is comfortable to do a spinal twist, you can invite them to place one hand on the knee, or you can place your hand on the knee and work with the child where they are. Perhaps placing your hands gently on the shoulders and just inviting them to slowly look in this direction. You might like to place your hand ever so gently on this side of their jaw. Maybe invite them to look at something so that they can see where to look. Relax the shoulders and breathing deeply. They might like to stay here only for a breath, and that's fine. Try not to let go of them. If you're guiding them into a movement, into a posture, try not to let go, because they might, jump, they might quickly, sort of come out of it. We want each and every movement to try and be graceful and smooth and steady. So coming in and out of the posture is as important as actually being in the posture. A transition process. Make sure you do both sides. So we're twisting the whole of the spine. The shoulders are rotating and twisting, then the chin and then the eyes. One whole spinal twist. And then coming back and relaxing. So there are many other postures that we could explore, and perhaps I even get to meet some of you and we can explore them in person. Hopefully that happens soon. Just keep on practicing, and exploring this video and this session, some of the postures you wouldn't have done, some of the postures you might do next time you watch it. You might even develop your own asana practice, get a bit more of an understanding of your own anatomy, and then you can apply different postures to and with the children and young people that you're working with. So we're coming to the end of our video now, our session, and you might like to come onto a yoga nidra, a deep relaxation, one of mine, or just some music, to just absorb the practices, to continue your deep breathing and your state of calm, and take it with you. Take your calm and your ease and your comfort with you. And that will be the end of our session for today. So thank you for watching, thank you for practicing with me, Alexis, and Namaste.